What up? It's your boy Suavecito, and welcome back to another video. Today, I have an interesting one. It's about the Adam and Eve story. I know we've all heard the original from the Bible. Obviously, I don't know much of it. My bad. But we've all heard of the Adam and Eve story, right, from the Bible. Well, apparently, the CIA on their website has their own version or like their own way of a story of it. As you guys can see on the top right corner, I actually have the file here. It's free for anybody. All you have to do is just type it in, go to the CIA's webpage, and then you could go ahead and download the file onto your phone, your desktop, or whatnot. So I was already on it. I seen this on TikTok. As you guys can see, the Adam and Eve story by Chan Thomas. This classified in part, sanitized copy approved for release. Um, June 24th, 2013. CIA. I'm not gonna say all this. That's a long ass number, but once again, the Adam and Eve story. Apparent, um, apparently, oh shit. Hold on. Apparently, it's like the Adam and Eve one. Um, it just tells you about other stuff. Um, like the supposedly the earth, the mantle, the inner core, the outer core, the crust, the stat. I don't know what the fuck that is, but the crust, like the little layout, and then this like just tells you about the heritage and the the shit. Can I do it? Oh yes, I can. All right, and then Spain, Britain, and this is like I don't know. I guess you want to say like the introduction towards it. Um, I'm not here for that. I'm actually here to get to this part right here, the Adam and Eve story by Chan Thomas. Um, so as you guys can see, to to wail without her help through the years of sleepless nights and seemingly endless trials of study and translation, this book never would have come into being. The table of contents, the next cate cate the next cataclysm, page 1. The Great Floods, page 7. The story, page 19. The event, page 29. Genesis from the Bible, page 35. And then the conclusion, page 45. Um, I won't get to all of this. I won't read all of this, obviously. I might break it down into two different parts, three parts if I have to, maybe even four, depending on how far we get along through this reading today. Depending on how long it takes us, we'll go ahead and. But best believe we will finish all of this, cause this is trippy. Like I haven't even read this. Like I just seen it. Was like I'm gonna go do it. Check it out. We read this together, and we find out everything together. So once again, this is called the Adam and Eve story on the CIA webpage. So the next cataclysm, like Noah 6,500 years ago, like Adam and Eve 11,500 years ago, this too will come to pass. So let's go ahead and see if it would or it would not. But once again, this is a. At first, it was a classified. It was classified. Now it's declassified and is actually out for the public. So let's get into it. With the rumble so low as the inaudible, growing, throbbing, then fuming into a thundering roar, the earthquake starts. Only it's not like an earthquake in record history. In California, the mountains shake like ferns in a breeze. The mighty Pacific rears back and piles up into a mountain of water more than 2 miles high. Damn, that's fucking pretty high. Then starts its race eastwards. With the force of 1,000 armies, the wind attacks, ripping, shredding everything in its supersonic bombardment. The unbelievable mountain of Pacific seawater follows the wind eastwards, burying Los Angeles and San Francisco as they were but grains of sand. Nothing but nothing stops the relentless, overwhelming onslaught of wind and ocean. So I'm guessing this is talking about like the first part is like talking about like a earthquake, tsunami. As you can see, right here it says um, the mountain of Pacific seawater follows the eastward, and then burying Los Angeles and San Francisco. Here it says piles up into a mountain of water more than 2 miles high. So most likely it's talking about like an earthquake and a tsunami going, coming across, fucking everybody up in the state of California. I mean that's crazy because thinking about it, like there was a dude that I think he came from Atlanta, and then all over TikTok he was like, evacuate California because of this and that. I'm not too sure like of the reason. I guess it's like an earthquake or like of a tsunami. But he came from Atlanta saying all that, to evacuate California. So this seeing him on and reading this, kind of a little trippy. You feel me? So let's back into the context. Across the continent, the 1,000 mile per hour wind wreaks its unholy vengeance everywhere, merciless, unceasing. Every living thing is ripped into shreds while being blown across the countryside, and the earthquake leaves no place untouched. In many places, the Earth's molten sublayer breaks through and spreads a sea of white hot liquid fire to add to the Holocaust. Within 3 hours, the fantastic wall of water moves across the continent, burying the wind ravaged the land under the 2 miles of sea and water, coast to coast. In a fraction of the day, all vestige of civilization are gone, and the great cities Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, Dallas, New York are nothing but legends. Barely a stone is left where millions walked just a few hours before. Damn, hold on. A few hours before, a few lucky ones who managed to find shelter from the screaming wind on the lee side of Pikes Peak watched the sea of molten fire break through the quaking valleys below. The raging waters follow, piling higher and higher, steaming over the molten earth, fire, and rising almost to their feet. Only great mountains such as this can withstand the catalytic onslaught. Don't judge my reading, all right? Don't judge my reading. North America is not alone in her death throes. Central America suffers the same canyade, wind, earth fire, and inundations. South America, South America finds the Andes, don't judge, not high enough to stop the catalytic violence pounding out by nature in her berserk rage. In less than a day, Ecuador, Peru, and western Brazil are shaken madly by the devastating earthquake, buried by molten earth fire, hold on, buried under cubic miles of torrential Pacific seas, and then turned into a frozen hell. Everything freezes. Man, beast, plant, and mud are all rock hard in less than 4 hours. Damn, dog, they telling us how we finna die or what? Like, this just crazy, bro. Like, you're talking about basically like a tsunami and shit. Like a tsunami coming in. I mean, like, fucking hurricanes, tsunamis, and earthquakes and shit. Like, right here, bro. Like, how you gonna tell us we all going we all gonna die basically, bro? Like Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, Dallas, New York, bro. They're nowhere near each other, bro. And you're telling me a wave of 2 mile high is gonna come in and fucking just fuck it all up, bro? That's crazy. Like, as it says, are nothing but legends. That's crazy. So let's get back onto this, bro. I don't know. It's maddening, bro. Excuse me. Europe cannot escape the onslaught. The raging Atlantic piles higher and higher upon itself, following the screeching wind up eastwards. The Alps, Pyrenees, don't judge, bro. The Pyrenees, Urals, and Scandin, Scandinavian mountains. I said that confidently. I probably didn't say it right. Scandinavian mountains are shaken and heaved even higher before the wall of water strikes. Western Africa and the sands of the Sahara vanish in the nature's wrath under savage attack by wind and ocean. The area bounded by the Congo, South Africa, and Kenya suffers only severe earthquakes and winds. No inundations. Survivors there marvel at the sun standing still in the sky for nearly half a day. Eastern Siberia and the Orient suffer a strange fate indeed, as though a giant subterranean sick scythe scythe. Don't judge me, bro. I didn't graduate, man. Please leave me alone. I did graduate. My reading wasn't on point though. I suck. Big words, words that are not in my daily vocabulary. Back to the shit. Sweeps away the earth's foundations, accompanied by the wind in its screaming symphony or supersonic death and destruction. As the Arctic basins leaves its polar home, eastern Siberia, Manchuria, China, and Burma are subjected to the same annihilation. Anni- annihilation. Same annihilation. Annihilation. Fuck it. Just move on. As South America, when earth fire, inundation, and freezing jungle and animals are shredded to ribbons by the wind, piled into mountains of flesh and bone, and buried under avalanches of seawater and mud. Then comes a terrible, paralyzing cold. Not man, nor beast, nor plant, nor earth is left unfrozen in this entire Eastern Asian continent, most of which remains below sea level. Bro, this is talking about like a flood again, bro. I see like it's talking about. I know I said earthquakes. I think it's talking about we're gonna get another flood and another ice age because why are we all gonna be submerged and then the cold? So I think that's what it's gonna be. I think we're gonna have another ice age coming up. They just trying to make us read. That's what we're doing. East of the Urals in Urals. Don't judge me, bro. Please. In Western Siberia, a few lucky people survived the fantastic winds and quakes. Antarctica and Greenland, with the ice caps, now rotate around the Earth in the torrid zone, and the fury of wind and in inundation marches on for 6 days and nights. During the sixth day, the oceans start to settle in their new homes, running off the high grounds. On the seventh day, the horrendous rampage is over. The Arctic Ice Age is ended. Knew this shit was gonna be an ice age, bro. 7 days takes a week for the ice age to end. It's crazy. The Arctic Ice Age is ended, and a new Stone Age begins. The ocean, the great homogenizers have laid down another deep layer of mud over the existing strata in the Great Plains, as exposed in the Grand Canyon, Painted Desert, and Badlands. What? Have laid down another deep layer of mud over the existing strata in the Great Plains, as exposed in the okay. The Bay of Bengal basin, just east of India, is now at the North Pole. The Pacific Ocean, just west of Peru, is at the South Pole. Greenland and Antarctica, now rotating equatorially in the torrid zone, find their ice caps dissolving madly in the tropical heat. Massive walls of water and ice surge towards the oceans, taking everything from mountains to plains and gushing heaving paths, creating a music seasonal moraines. Moraines? Hopefully I said that shit right. In less than 25 years, the ice caps are gone, and the oceans around the world rise over 200 feet with the fresh new water. The torrid zone will be shrouded in a fog for generations from the enormous amounts of moisture poured into the atmosphere by the melting ice caps. New ice caps began to form in the new polar areas. Greenland and Antarctica emerged with verdant tropical foliage. Australia is the new unexplored continent in the north temperate zone, with only a few handfuls of survivors populating its vastness. New York lies at the bottom of the Atlantic, shattered, melted by Earth. I don't know, guys. It just says, bro, Australia's gonna become Antarctica. Antarctica, Greenland is gonna be land. I've been hearing shit about this. Like, Antarctica and Greenland once what lands the lands that are covered will become green again. That's what I've been hearing and seeing, and then also uh there's it's trippy, bro. I'm gonna just shut up. I'm not too educated and stuff like this, but this is trippy. I'm glad I'm reading this with you guys, and we're learning this shit together. Fire and covered by unbelievable amounts of mud. What the? I forgot about the muds. We all gonna make it out the mud. No, okay. Of San Francisco and Los Angeles, not a trace is left. So that's it, guys. L.A., San Francisco. That's it. And it's never like it never existed. Egypt emerged from Egypt emerged from the Mediterranean. That food loud from its Mediterranean inundation, new and higher, still the land of the ages. The commonplace of our time becomes a mystery Balakbek of the new era, new era. Yes, the catalysm has done its work well. The great population regulator of all does once more for man than he refuses to do for himself, and drives the pitiful few who survive into a new stone age. I heard about that. I heard about that. It was a guy who was, I guess he was doing like a speech, and he was saying that we started like cavemans, and then we became to this new era where like the early centuries where like they started creating the first vehicle and all that, and then that after a while we're gonna get to like where we are now, kind of, with like nuclear, and then like with AI and all this technology that we have, and then after this era, once again we'll go back into like the Stone Age, due for the fact that nuclear war and whatnot like fucked everything up. So it's kind of crazy. Once more, the Earth has shifted its 60-mile thick shell, with the poles moving almost to the equator in a fraction of a day. Again, the atmosphere and oceans refusing to change directions, with the Earth shall have, with the Earth shell has wiped out almost all life. After this tumble, we join Noah, Adam and Eve, Atlantis, Atlantis, Mu, and Olympus. Whoa, what's Mu? What is Mu? And Jesus joins Osiris, Ta'aroa, Zeus, and Vishnu. Huh? Oh, the Great Floods. This is chapter 2, guys. The Great Floods. Noah, Adam and Eve. Wait, 6, 7. Where's 8? Okay, so we got 5, 6, 7. Skips to 9. Oh, at Noah, Adam and Eve, Vishnu, Osiris. What do they all have in common? They represent eras, ages apart, and yet somehow they all join hands in the next catalysm and walk with us. There are others who walk with us too. Men of science, long forgotten, those who first saw that these tumbles, these cataclysm, cataclysmic. Don't judge, bro. I'm not smart, okay? Castra, cas, fuck, catastrophes. Don't judge. Or revolutions of the earth shall have happened before countless times. J. Andre J. Andre Deluc in 1779 and Georges Cuvier in 1812 were the foremost. Dolomieu, the famous mineralogist, joined the consensus, as did Esther and Foro, the Swiss geologists. Also, J. Andre Deluc Jr. and von Buch. They all agree that the catalytic were caused by sudden revelations of the surface of the Earth could view in his in his quotation theory of the Earth quotation first published in 1812 based off his conclusions on his unparalleled cor- correlative research and comparative and anatomy and I'm not even gonna try that one, bro. At that time, he wrote every part of the Earth, every hemisphere, every continent exhibits the same phenomenon. There has therefore been a succession of variations in the economy of organic, natural, the various catastrophic. No, wait, what the fuck? Catastrophes, which have disturbed the strata, have given rise to numerous shiftings of this continental basin. It is of much importance to mark that these repeated eruptions and retreats of the sea has neither been slow nor gradual. On the contrary, most of the catastrophes which occasionally them which occasioned them have been sudden, and this is especially easy to be proved with regard of the to the most of these catastrophes. I agree therefore with M. Deluc and Dolomieu Dolomieu in thinking that if anything geologic in geology be established, it is that the surface of our globe has undergone a great and sudden revelation, the date of which cannot be much easier than 5 or 6 thousand years ago. Also, one preceding revelation at least had put the continents underwater, perhaps two or three eruptions of the sea. These alternations now appear to me to form the problem in geology. But I feel I'm saying that shit wrong. That it is of most importance to solve. In order to solve it satisfactorily, would be necessary to discover the cause of these events. These ideas have hunted. These ideas have hunted. I may also say, have tormented me during my research among fossil bones. Researchers which embrace but a very small part of these phenomena phenomena of the age preceding the last general revelation of uh, last general revolution of the globe, and which yet are yet intimately connected with all the others. To be honest, bro, even though I read this shit, I'm a little confused of what's going on right here, but I kind of understand it. I'm a little confused, but I get it at the same time. I don't know if you guys get me at this point. I'm like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I'm in between. Uh, yeah. Back to this. Many attempts have been made to answer the charge made to the geological professor by Cuvier to explain the sudden revolutions. Among others, Veles- Velikovsky Velikovsky tried it through his study of myth and legends. Hapgood tried it. Brown attempted, and in the process amassed a tremendous library of geological data. Every time the cataclysmic concept has come to life, the beast has been stoned. What do you mean by that? The beast has been stoned, burned at the stake, beaten to pulp, and buried with a vengeance. But the corpse simply won't stay dead. Each time it raises the lid of its coffin and says in sepulchral tones, "You will die before I." The latest of the challengers is Prof. Frank C. Hibben, who in his book The Lost Americans said, "This is not this was no fuck you mean the Lost Americans." Alright, hold on. This was no ordinary extinction of a vague geological period which fizzles to the uncertain end. This death was catastrophic and all inclusive. What causes the death of 40 million animals? The corpse's delicati? Delicti. Delecti. The corpse's delecti. In this mystery may be found almost anywhere. Their bones lie bleaching in the sand of Florida and in the gravels of New Jersey. They weather out of the day's torrents of Texas and protrade from the sticky zone of the tar pits off Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles. The bodies of the victims are everywhere. We find the literal thousands together, young and old, fueled with dam, calf with cow. The, the muke pits of Alaska are filled with evidence of universal death, a picture of quick extinction. Any agreement as to the cause must apply to North America, Siberia, and Europe all as well. Mammoths and bison were torn and twisted as though by a cosmic hand in a golly rage. In many places, the Alaskan muke blanket is packed with animal bones and debris and trainloads, lots, mammoths, mastodon, bisons, horses, wolves, bears, and lions. A funeral population in the middle of some kind of catalytic catastrophe was suddenly frozen in a grim charade. Fantastic winds, volcanic burning, inundation, and burial in mute precipitation by deep freeze. Any good solutions to a consuming mystery must answer all of the facts. Challenges, challenges he been. The challenge wouldn't leave me alone. Like a hunger and nod at my subconscious, I could hear the deep thrones of Cavier's challenge. Find the cause of these events, still reverberating through the sacred halls of science. Ghostly unanswered, I felt Hibbins' challenge later on, prodding. Answer all of the facts. I decided that it is catalystic concept, this catastrophic end which seems to visit our planet time after time, needed verification or refutation once and for all. The first step was to gather all of the known, accepted data from as many Earth sciences as possible. Stratigraphy, archaeology, anthropology, paleo. I'm skipping that. Radiology, oceanography. I'm saying graphy. Oceanography, systematically, glaciology, and many other fields. Correlation of the data between the science gave the answer. Although there are enough data in which science to indicate that these catastrophes happen, there was not enough to prove the concept. But between science correlation showing indeed that the concept was true. Not only did it verify that the events had happened, but disclosed catastrophic when the five catalysms were and what positions the shell of Earth has been in the last 35,000 years. So after years of research, beginning in 1949, Cavier's challenge had an answer. Yes, indeed, the catalysms do happen, and the last one was 6,500 years ago was Noah's flood. Alright, so they happen. What is it that happens each time? The challenge was really truly fold. Find the process. What happens in the catalysm and the trigger? What causes a catalysm to happen? What a chase and what a dramatic story of the Earth's history was uncovered. Civilizations of 20,000 years ago, more advanced than our wildest imagination. Prehistoric legends from Greece, Egypt, India, and South America, which became history instead of legend. The continent in the Atlantic and Pacific, which became dated realities, with logic reasons for their sudden disappearance. Yes, Vishnu came alive, a man who lived through a cataclysm 70,000 years ago before our time. Actually, 10 catalysms ago. Now he is known as the Hindu god of 10 resurrections from the waters. Osiris, too, was rediscovered. He was the Jesus of his time, a man of Egypt some 15,000 years ago. Noah smiled at us from the pages of the epic of the pages of the Epic of Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh, the Epic of Gilgamesh. I said that wrong. I know I did. He actually was a Sumerian named Utnapishtim. Utnapishtim. I said that wrong. I'm not good with big words. You guys know. Please don't chill my ass out. If we do, we gonna have to fight. Just kidding. Y'all probably beat my ass. Who lived 6,500 years ago? No mames. The ark he built is more than legend. The process of catalysm is known now. Look at the cross section of the Earth inside the front cover. You'll see two molten layers. The orange ones, the important one is the thin molten layer, about 60 miles thick, which is between 60 and 120 miles down below the surface of the Earth. The thick, deep molten layers starting 1,800 miles down at the bottom of the mantle and extending 1,300 miles deeper is the outer core. So now we're talking about like the cores and stuff. Now the molten layers are liquid. However, the inner magnetic and electrical structure of the Earth makes these layers act as if they were near solid or plastic. As long as the magnetic and as long as the magnetic and electrical structure maintains its orderliness, this old Earth keeps on rotating on its axles in a normal manner. The growing ice caps, Antarctica and Greenland, are not centered on the Earth's axles, and because they rotate around the poles, are trying to swing down to the equator. The only way they could do it would be to pull the whole 60-mile thick shell around with them. As long as the shallow molten layer stays plastic, the shell won't shift. But once every few thousand years, the magnetic and electrical orderliness inside the Earth is disrupted, and the molten layer is allowed to act like a free liquid, which is what. Fuck, bro. Hold on. Call the candy break. Alright. And the molten layer is allowed to act like a free liquid, which it was all the time anyway. It then serves a lubricant for the ice caps to pull the shell of the Earth around the inside. In 1/4 to 1/2 a day, the poles move almost to the equator, and the hell lets loose. The atmosphere and the oceans don't shift with the shell; they just keep on rotating west to east, and at the equator, that speed is 1,000 miles per hour. It has to be normally to make one rotation per day. So while the shell shifts with the poles going toward the equator, the wind and oceans go eastward, blowing across the face of the Earth with supersonic speeds, inundating continents with water miles deep. So we're gonna get a shift. We're getting a shift from Antarctica and Greenland to when it's time. We're gonna get a shift, and then with that shift, that's when everything is gonna break loose. So the last one happened, I guess. I don't know. I don't know when the last one happened. I just thought about it, and it was talking about the Noah's flood, which was in the Bible. So this shit, what they're saying here, might be true because they already proved that the Noah's Ark is real, and where you could find the Ark. Another break. Okay. Now what about the trigger? This should turn out to be the most exclusive piece of the whole puzzle. We cannot rely on some new supernatural expansion like something happens in the heavens in a Volk character which actually violated the laws of nature. No, it has to be something natural, a part of nature's ordinary structure which disrupts the Earth's inner electrical and magnetic structure whenever it happens. We once thought that sunspots can be the cause because they do disrupt the Earth's inner electrical and magnetic structure. But we are wrong. We were wrong. We found out that nature's power plant is a motor generated system existing in many different magnitudes. It is a basic structure of the universe. The energy structures of an atom is identical to the rotating planet, to a blue white star, to a galaxy, to a super galaxy, to all levels of super galaxies, including a universe, and even more. As a neutron, which has escaped from its parent atom's neutral zone, will separate into particles. A star, through a sunspot, gives out natural matter, which explodes as it becomes energized. So a galaxy gives birth to an exploding star when a dead star escapes from its neutral zone in the center, and as a dead galaxy explodes when it escapes from the central neutral zone of its parent supergalaxy. A planet therefore must act the same as at its energy level. Damn, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. So apparently, once every few thousand years, neutral matter escapes from the 860-mile radius inner core into the 1,300-mile thick molten outer core, and there is a literal atomic explosion inside the Earth. The explosion in the high energy layer of the outer core disrupts completely the electrical and magnetic structure in both the molten outer core and the outer core 60-mile thick molten layer. Finally, the ice caps are allowed to pull the shell of the Earth around the indicator, with the shallow molten layer lubricating the shifts all the way. You can see then that ice ages are not a matter of advancing and retreating ice. It's simply that different areas of the Earth are in polar regions at different times, for different durations of time, which the changes between positions taking place in a fraction of a day. The story around the world gives a silent testimony. The birds, shit, the Bergsovika mammoth frozen in mud, which buttercups in its mouth. The fuck? Oh. The ages of gorges below Niagara Falls and St. Anthony's Falls, both about 6,500 years ago. The sudden end of the Laurentian Basin ice cap in Canada by 11,500 years ago. The interrupted years of evolution of the Galapagos over 11,000. The geological dating in the Murrumbidgee River Basin system in Australia, showing the end of an ice cap there 11,500 years ago. The age of fossil bones taken from the Wilshire Boulevard tar pits over 11,000 years ago. The sudden end of all work in the prehistoric city of Tiahu. Fuck, I can't say that shit. Peru 9,550 years ago BC, or 11,500 years ago. Leonard, oh shit. Peru 9,550 BC, or 11,500 years ago. Leonard Woolley's great work in the Holy Land dating Noah's flood at about 6,000 years ago. The end of the Wisconsin ice cap about 29,000 years ago. The sudden 200-foot rise of the oceans all over the world 6,000 to 7,000 years ago. The sudden rise of the St. Louis riverbed 6,500 years ago. The changing levels of shoreline in the Hudson Bay. The granite blocks from the Alps sitting on the eastern slopes of the Jura Mountains at 4,000 feet above sea level. The great legendarian phasers uncover of the 8,000 separate inundation survival legends in the Malaya Peninsula region. The Pajark Marsh in Australia shows a quick extinction of civilization 11,500 years ago. The Peru Reese map showing the North Pole in the Sudan Basin. The Egyptian water clock showing agreement with the Peru recent map. Granite on top of the mountain around Death Valley in California. The great stratification of the Grand Canyon, Painted Desert, and Badlands, each layer homogeneous, shown in a deposit where suddenly by fantastic amounts of water, the capitatable age of Antarctica and Greenland ice caps about 6,500 years ago. Oh, about 6,500 years. The present growth of the Antarctic ice cap about 293 cubic miles per year. The legends from primitive man in Tierra del Fuego at the southern tip of South of America of the day the sun set in the wrong direction. The legends from primitive man in Peru of the sun, the day the sun stood still, the legends from the Malayan and some Sumatran Borgines of the long night, the Varving Earthstrack comes in Rancho, Minnesota, Hackensack, New Jersey, which agree. The prevalence in jade in the Orient, which is material heaved up from the mantle near equational pivot points during a tumble. The fantastic evidence of the burgeoning typical fuck, the typical population in Arctic Siberia and Alaska completely wiped out in a fraction of a day. The similarity of languages the world over, from Polynesian to Greek to Egyptian to Mayan to Eskimo to Yaku to Orientational and more. The correction of ice ages and quickly extinctions the whole world. The survival of criminal life at equatorially pivot points, the last two beginning the Malaya Peninsula and the Galapagos, now rife with lizards. The existence of a coral reef on the floor of the Arctic Ocean, and more gives us a historic picture of the Earth's shell during the past 35,000 years. The overwhelming evidence, when put in order, gives a dramatic picture of which areas have been in the North Pole when they moved to the pole, and how long they were there. North Pole areas at North Pole. Antarctic Ocean starts 6,500 years ago, ended duration not yet ended. Sudan Basin, 11,500 years ago, 6,500 years ago. It ended 6,500 years ago. It was there for approximately 5,000 years. Hudson Bay was there, started in 18,500 years ago, and ended at 11,500 years ago. And then it was there for about 7,000 years. Caspian Sea was there 29,000 years ago, ended 18,500 years ago, and it was there for approximately 10,500 years. Wisconsin, damn, we was talking about the state Wisconsin. It started 35,000 years ago, ended 29,000 years ago. It was there for approximately 6,000 years. Yes, Noah, Adam and Eve, Osiris, Ta, Aurora, Zeus, and Vishnu have much deeper meaning now, and as they join hands and walk with us, we hear Adam and Eve saying, "Listen, for now we can truly share our story with you." The story, Igna, Pursuit, and Raging. Oh, that's a whole different chapter. So, out of everything we read, guys, from chapter 1, the catalysm, to the story, which puts page 97, this shit was interesting, bro. It's kind of freaky too, to learn a little bit more about what's actually going on with this and how it is. This will be the end of it, I could see 3 parts of this, due to the fact that we already did 2 chapters, and then now in the next video we'll do chapter 3 and chapter 4. Go ahead and remind me, we're on chapter 3, the story. Excuse me. And then the last part will be part 3, which is Genesis, and then the conclusion. After that, then we'll go ahead and move on to another video that I have planned out. But for right now, guys, this will be the end of the video. I know I took forever to finish. I know I stumbled upon a lot of words. I know I probably mispronounced a lot of the words, but it's okay. I'm not the smartest, and words that are out of my vocabulary, I cannot actually pronounce well. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, go ahead and drop the like, drop a follow, comment down below something that you learned today, something new that you learned today, or whatever you found interesting down below. Thank you guys for joining again. Once again, this is your boy Suavecito. We were learning about the Adam and Eve story by the CIA by Chan Thomas. Yeah, that's it, guys. Have a good one.